right, good night, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our FitMAW Show. I'm your host, Jason Craig. Super excited, super pumped to be here. And in today's episode, we're going to be in tonight's episode, we are going to be having a live Q&A. Now, did anyone find that countdown timer was a bit off? Yeah, it was showing like 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go when we were like at 8 o'clock. So, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, it's super good to have you all here. On this episode of the FitMAW Show. Like I said, we're going to be doing a live Q&A. Happy Father's Day to all of you fathers tuning in, and keep doing the great work that you are doing. So in commemoration of Father's Day, I decided why not do something different, why not do something special. So tonight I'm going to give you all a chance to ask me weight loss related questions, and I'm going to dive into those questions. Now, just to make this flow a lot smoother, there is a link. I'm going to be dropping it here in the chat. So you're just going to be using that link to click, and I'll actually bring you on screen live. That's one way to get the questions answered. And next week, you can text them in the comments, and I will answer them there. And the last way is going to be via Facebook. Now, remember, if you're on Facebook, you have to hit that link that says StreamYard above in the comments so I can actually see your name and answer your questions accordingly. So let's just start by going over to Facebook. I'm going to post the link in the comments below when we're ready to get started with the questions, just to make sure the process flows a lot smoother. All right, now you know how we do it every day. We want to know who is checking in here with us. Where is our audience coming from? So that's going to be the first question I'm going to ask. Where are you joining us from? Put in the comments below what country you are signing in from. I'm always excited to know where our audience are coming from and give you a special shout out here. Now, while you're doing that, I'll be going ahead and dropping that link in Facebook, and I'll also do the same thing on YouTube. All right, so let me do that right now. So this way you can get all queued up to jump on. So that's the link I'm going to be dropping there. Once you hit that link, you're going to be coming in backstage, and then we can do our live Q&A. So let's start it off here. So we have Edlyn Williams coming in from Grenada. Great to have you, Edlyn, and she's joining us via our YouTube link there. Awesome, great to have you. So who else we have? We've got Hazel from Trinidad again, joining us from the YouTube feed. Great to have you. We've got a Facebook user from Trinidad. I can't see your name, so I'm just gonna put Facebook user. So there is like a link on the, so like, yeah, if you go into the broadcast, like up to the top there's a link you're supposed to press, like it's gonna show you your name. All right, no problem. Okay, so we've got Trinidad, we've got Edlyn, we've got Leslie and Isaacs from Grenada. Bridget wishing me happy Father's Day. Thank you very much, Bridget. Appreciate that. We've got Hadassah signing in from Trinidad and Tobago. We've got Denise signing in again from Trinidad and Tobago. So while you're here, grab your phones. You've got that message from me. Go ahead, invite your WhatsApp list. Bring them on to the show so that we can make this thing pop off tonight, because we want to get all of these questions going. And like I said, I'm going to be dropping the link. Let me drop the link also in YouTube. So once you click that link, it's going to bring you in the backstage. And that way, as soon as we open the floor for live Q&As, you're going to be on screen with me, and we're going to be asking these questions live. Now, if you're a bit shy, which you should not be, because I mean, we're all a big one big family here, you can drop your questions in the comments, and also I'll answer them there. So we've got Bruno from Grenada. Great to have you. Okay, yes, I know who you are. Great to have you. Finally, I am able to put a face to the name. So great to have you. Thanks for your support. Hadassah, we said, and we have Nicole Martin from Trinidad. Great to have you. Happy Father's Night. Thank you very much, Leslie. So yes, we've got quite an audience jumping in here tonight. And like I said, if you are joining us for the first time, I must put this in here. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and also on Facebook. So these are two links right here. If you join us for the first time, go ahead and follow us on YouTube. There will be, well, I'll bring up the link there so you can see us, and also on Facebook, right? So on YouTube, it's at FitMA, and on Facebook, it's at Fat Loss Revelation. So if you're actually on YouTube right now, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, also the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we release new videos. It'll also help us to reach more influential people, help the channel to grow so we can bring that content back to you. All right, awesome. So yes, we've got the list coming up here. So if you just joined us, let us know where you're from, where you join us from, so we can give you all a shout out. Thank you very much, Alicia. I know Alicia is joining us from Trinidad. We've got Neil Joseph from Antigua. Great to have you all. All right, so it's awesome to have you. So tonight's episode, like I said, is going to be before we do that, FitMAW shout out. How can I forget the FitMAW shout out? So I want to give a special shout out to my Ma Makeover challengers, and these ladies have been crushing it because this week we have been talking about meals and we've been focusing on creating fat-burning meals using the ingredients in their kitchen. And I've been showing them like the macronutrient combination that they should be using. And I've got some amazing meals up on the list here. These ladies, we have Edlene, we've got, I'm just calling some of them here, Sharon, Miss Scott, we've got Hadassah, and some of the meals you see here, these ladies have been crushing it. So like that one is actually a brownie. Now could you imagine you're eating brownie to lose weight? So one of our Ma Makeover Challenge, who happens to be a professional chef, crushed this recipe using oats. She used oats flour to actually make this. She did the same thing with the roti. So we actually eat a roti and a weight loss challenge. Like how cool is that? And of course, the secret formula, we have to keep that inside of the group. So I can't share that with you. Anyways, here are some of the recipes that they released, and these ladies been crushing it. So special shout out to our Ma Makeovers for really crushing the meals and really turning this thing up. Sylvia, join us from Trinidad and Tobago. Great to have you. And keep up the great work. You ladies are doing an amazing job. So first, in tonight's episode, we are going to do for the first time a live Q&A where you ask me your weight loss questions and I will answer them according to the best of my ability. Now, if I truly and honestly do not know the answer, I will tell you that. So I'm not going to be like I know it all. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me show you how this is going to work. So if you're on YouTube, I'm going to drop a link. Look at the comments, right? We've got Natoya from Trinidad. Welcome, great to have you. Jacqueline from Grenada. All right, awesome. So in the comments, you are going to see a link that says, well, yeah, I'm going to drop it in YouTube now, right? So once you click that link, it's going to bring you into my back office studio. We're going to come on and you're going to ask your questions live. Now, the link is going to look something like, let me create a banner here and show you what the link would look like, right? And the banner, where is it? Show. All right, so that's what the link is going to look like. You just click that link. It's going to bring you into my back office, and I'm going to open the floor for questions. Now, none of you should be shy. None of you should be shy, right? So if you are shy, then the easiest way to do it is to just send me over a text here and or drop your question in the comments and I'll answer them there. But I think you should just jump on back. So like all of you just jump on the back screen, hit that link, it's in YouTube, it's in Facebook, hit that link, jump on the back office, and let's get these questions going. So let me start with bringing on our first guest. I have Angelina here, and let me go split screen. Angelina, are you there? Okay, so she's tuning up. So the next one I have in the back office is Liz. So get your mic ready. We're going to be rolling you out pretty soon. All right, Angelina, you are on live, and you can go ahead with your question. All right, looks like Angelina is still setting up. So let me just give her a chance to set up. Let me bring Liz on. Liz, you are live, and you can go ahead with your question.
Good night.
Good night. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Very well.
Okay, so I wanted to find out how much percent do you think, or how big of a part does nutrition play in weight loss?
Okay, that's a great question. And we spoke briefly about it a couple episodes ago. Now, when it comes to weight loss, and let me clarify a couple things, right? When we say weight loss, we mean that you step on the scale and in a couple of weeks
You drop
that
a few
number
yeah,
is
yeah,
less.
a few pounds less, yeah.
Great. So in a case like that, nutrition would account for about 90% of your weight loss, right? Now, let me clarify something while we're on that topic. We had also said that when it comes to getting in shape, now, change of terms here, getting in shape, nutrition is 100%, fitness is 100% versus 100%. Now, let me explain what I meant by that. So, as I said, weight loss, 90% of it is going to come from nutrition, right? When it comes to getting in shape, now we're talking about maintaining our body composition, keeping those curves, bringing that fat percentage down. Why I say exercise 100%? Because if you just create or you just eat and lose the weight, you're not going to look so good. Let me explain. You ever seen somebody who lost weight after being sick? They just look pulled on, right? On the scale,
Yeah,
look. However, they don't have the curves. They lost their butt, which is a big thing I see. Other parts that are vital start going. So when you add the exercise into it, the exercise helps to keep the body composition and the body shape, which is why it's 100% for for that purpose. While at the same time, the nutrition is chipping away. But if we're talking exclusively about weight loss, fat loss, then definitely nutrition is going to have 90% of that when it comes to getting that result. Make sense?
yeah, makes a lot of sense. Thank
Perfect.
you.
You're most welcome. All right. Thank you very much, Liz. So that was question number one. What percentage or what role or how much does nutrition play when it comes to weight loss? So if you just join us, the link is here on YouTube. You can actually click that link. Let me just post it again here. You hit that link, it's going to bring you over to the show. If you're joining us on Facebook, the link is there. It's a StreamYard link. You just hit that link, it's going to bring you in the back office, and I'm going to be answering your questions live. Now, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask the questions, and let's get this show rolling. Now, also, you can ask the questions here in the comments if that's easier for you. I'll just display the questions, and then we continue with the rest of the show. So, no, don't tell me I have a shy audience tonight. Y'all gotta be asking me some questions. Come on. This is a service you normally pay for, but you can get it here tonight, where I can come and answer your weight loss questions. So go ahead and type your questions, join the back office, and let's go ahead and answer these questions. All right, so let me just check my phone. I think I have some questions coming in there. Okay, so one of the questions I see here is what is the benefit of fasting when it comes to weight loss? So let me touch that question while we're here. Now, when it comes to weight loss, the benefit of fasting is that it helps to speed up the results. Now, how it does it? As we said, weight loss is primarily, at a basic level, a function of your body utilizing more energy than it takes in. And that energy is in calories. So using more calorie than you're taking in. So let's just put some numbers to it. If you're eating 2,000 calories per day and you are burning 2,100, then your body is actually in a deficit of 100. If you continue that way, you're actually going to lose weight. So at a primary level, that is what weight loss does. When you add the fasting to it, not only are you drastically reducing the calories, but you are also bringing your hormones back into balance. And as you know, what we practice is that weight loss When you've gone past that surface level of caloric balance, it comes down to a hormonal balance. Because you can be reducing your calories and there's going to be a point where you just plateau. And that can happen when certain key hormones are not in balance. And when these hormones are not in balance, all you're going to be doing is frustrating yourself, eating less, 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 with no results, and eventually you're going to fall off the tree. So we practice something called time restricted feeding or intermittent fasting or fasting. And what that simply means is that in a specific period throughout the day, we have what is called an eating window. So just put some numbers to it. Let's say we'll eat from 8 a.m. and we cut off our last meal by 6 p.m., right? We have 3 meals in between that. From 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next day, we don't eat anything, which is pretty much normal for most people because that's when you're sleeping. And that's going to be approximately 14 hours of fast. In that period now, you would have depleted all of your stored energy and your body has no choice but to tap into fat. So when you fast, you pretty much force the body to go into the fat storage a lot faster. On top of that, because you're eating in such a small window, your caloric intake is also going to drop, which in effect is going to help to widen this balance between your calorie burn and your caloric intake, speeding up the weight loss results. Third, your hormones are going to come back into balance and you're going to be finding that your body is now, or your weight loss switches are now being turned on. All right, so perfect. Now, hey, I know I see two questions here. Ladies, don't be afraid to jump on. Let me give you the link. I would love to answer your questions and I'll bring them up. But hey, don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Just jump on the link. Let me just pull up Hadassah's answer, Hadassah's question here. So, what's the best protocol to gain muscles and the best fasting protocol as well? All right. Now, Hadassah, if it is possible, could you jump on the link and give me a little bit more clarification on the question there? And I will start answering it, right? So, what's the best protocol to gain muscle? When you say the best protocol to gain muscle, are we talking about a nutritional protocol or are we talking about a workout protocol? So if you can just bring that up, um, that would really help me. So while we're doing that, let me start by answering what from the nutritional protocol. So, and I wish do I have my board? But that'd be cool if I had my board. Anyway, when we are losing weight, let's go back to that thing. You are burning 2,000 calories per day, but you are consuming 1,900. So you have a 100 deficit. That's when you're trying to lose weight. Now, when you're trying to build muscle, there are two directions you could go. You're trying to build muscle. Hadassah is on. Sweet. Sweet. Hadassah, I'm going to bring you on. Yes, there's my girl.
Hi. What's up? Yeah, well, I was asking, what is the best protocol to gain lean muscles now? Right? Fasting protocol with both nutrition and fasting.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, so let's start with the nutrition. The best one to lead to gain lean muscle mass,
Also,
right? So when you're talking about muscle mass, your muscles are primarily made up of protein, right? So right off the bat, there's a hint. When it comes to your nutritional protocol for lean muscle mass, and you hear me properly right now, Hadassah? I see you putting your ears close to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Okay, great. So when it comes to lean muscle mass, you want to ensure that your nutrition is high on the protein. Now, for ladies, that will be about 70% of your body weight. So let's just put some numbers to it, right? Let's just say that the average, just our client, let's call her Suzette. Suzette weighs 150 pounds. And ladies, pay attention to this, right? 150 pounds. If you do 70% of that, it means that 105 grams of protein should be in Susan's diet per day, right? So that is key point number one. Ensure that your protein intake is about 70%. That's number one with nutrition. When it comes to the fasting now, when you are, and this is a tricky one, when you're on a muscle building protocol, as long as you're hitting that protein number that we just call it, let's say for this one, 105, you want to ensure that you're not doing any extended fast. And I will consider extended fast anything beyond the 16 hour, right? Here's the reason. When you go past that, your body still needs fuel. And when it has depleted, right? When it has depleted the food in your stomach, the protein, etc., the next place it goes to is your muscle, because your muscle is made up of protein. Now your body doesn't care that, hey, you're trying to build a lean muscle mass. All your body is trying to do is survive. And because you're trying to survive, he's gonna grab wherever that protein is available. And in this case, it is available in your muscle. So what you're gonna find is just gonna fluctuate. You're gonna gain some muscle, you're gonna lose it. Gain, lose it. So I would not recommend going beyond 16 hours of fast per day when you're trying to lean muscle mass, provided that your protein is at 105. If your protein is not at 70% of your total body weight or your ideal body weight, the fasting will just aggravate whatever you're doing. So the first thing is, of course, making sure your protein intake is there, right? At least that 70% mark. That's a great level to go at. And the next part is making sure you're going beyond 16. Now, if you're at 16 and you find that you are still not gaining that lean muscle mass, then start to trickle it back. Trickle it back. Bring it back to 15, 14, 13, 14 should be the minimum. Let's just say 12. 12 should be the minimum. But you shouldn't be going below 12.
So doing that daily then? Daily?
Sorry, say again?
Would that be daily fasting, like 12 hours or 14 hours daily?
Yes. You maintain that 12-hour mark.
Okay.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Now, if outside of that you're still losing muscle mass, then this is where we'll have to start to introduce the supplements, specifically the branched chain amino acids. It just means that your body metabolizing your protein too fast, so the branched chain amino acids will actually help with that. Make sense?
Next question. I don't like meat plenty, right? I just eat my protein, but sometimes I like to eat vegan, go vegan sometimes. So what I could use instead of the meat?
Great question. Give me a minute. I'm gonna run and bring something. Great question, Hadassah. So I actually just recently purchased this. You guys can see this. Pea protein, plant-based protein. So for those of you who are plant-based,
pea protein.
Pea protein. Yeah, this company is a great one too. For those of you who are plant-based and who don't want to consume too much meat, and stick a note, that's actually a good way to go. But for those of you in that direction and you want to eat a lot of meat, let me ask you a question, Halas. I'm going to ask a rhetorical question, right? Most people say you should get your protein from meat. Where does the cattle get its protein from?
From the grass.
So instead of going to the middleman, why not go straight to the same source? Now, I'm not trying to eat grass.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
Peas, these things are high in protein. So peas and beans generally high in protein. Lentils, one of the highest peas when it comes to protein. And this protein, again, is easy to be broken down by the body, right? Chickpea, let me use some of the peas that we have in the Caribbean. Chickpea or split peas also have it.
Yeah.
Red beans are good in protein. Soya beans, if you can get raw soya beans, non-GMO, those are extremely high in protein, and they have all essential amino acids in them, right? So that's the other ways you get protein.
Yeah.
If you then you supplement with a protein powder. And Hadassah, I know how you work out, so I would definitely suggest that you get a plant-based protein powder, because, like for example, one scoop of this is 24 grams of protein. So that's a whopping amount right there, right?
I wonder if you could get that in Trinidad.
You should be able to, and that you mentioned that, we are actually working with a company in the States, and they ship to Trinidad as well, and all the other Caribbean.
Yeah, okay.
So I will give you some recommendations after we're finished. But this should be available.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah?
Yeah. Thanks, yeah.
All right, cool. Take care.
Okay. You too.
All right, stay awesome, Hadassah. All right, great. So that was Hadassah's question. Awesome. Now, ladies, where are my questions? Where are my questions? No, I like if you're a normal member of me, I'm not accepting no questions on the chat, right? I need you all to jump on the link and ask me the questions. All right, so let me go back here. Right, Liz. So after fasting, can I eat what I want or do I need to stick to a diet? Is what I eat during this period after fasting important? That's a great question. That's an extremely good question. After fasting, can I eat what I want to stick to a diet? Now, let me answer it this way, right? When you are fasting, apart from utilizing your stored energy depleted in fat storage, fasting also helps to remove toxins from your body, right? So if you eat what you want, generally speaking, most of us, what you want is going to eat include something that's not necessarily healthy. So let me put it the next way. After you've cleaned out your house with your broom, do you think you should just come back and throw the same garbage inside? Or should you this time try and keep most of the garbage out so that the next cleaning becomes easier and the frequency of cleaning becomes less? Obviously the latter, right? So it's the same thing when you're fasting. You've just made an amazing progress. And remember, what fasting does, it resets your hormones. Let me give you some of the specific hormones. You're going to find after you finish fasting, you do not feel as hungry as you normally would. That's because a hormone called ghrelin has been reset. Now, ghrelin is the hormone that tells your body that you're hungry. And when you're always snacking, ghrelin and leptin, so ghrelin is hungry, leptin is satisfied. So ghrelin and leptin is always like this. You're always snacking. So that's why if you like you're somebody who snacks a lot, every time you don't get a snack, you always feel like you're gonna die. Oh, I need something to eat. It's not that you're hungry, it's just that those hormones are out of balance. So you're sending messages to your brain that are not necessarily true. Right? When you fast, these hormones become more into balance. And the more frequently you fast, the more balanced they become. So your first fast, you might feel horrible. Your second one, you start to feel a bit better. Your third one, even better. Right? And what is happening is the ghrelin leptin is coming into balance. So when you break the fast, and let's say you break it with junk, you just start the process all over again. You just bring this balance outside of whack, and you go right back to phase one. So after you have regained that control, start bringing this balance, you want to break fast with foods that are light, especially for extended fasts. Any fast over 16, like I said, I'll consider extended fast. If you fast for 16 hours, you don't want to break it with a heavy meal. Something like a light soup, maybe a green smoothie, something like that, something nice and light. So the body could take its time, the digestive wheels could get back in. It's like you're working out. You don't go from waking up in the morning to doing high intensity workout, burpees, full out. No, you need to warm up. So it's like your stomach. You've been resting this boy for 16 hours. You don't want to come and throw in heavy food that you have to go full power, right? So it's the same thing. All right, that's number one. Number two, so that will answer this stick to your diet. And it's what I eat during this period after fasting. That is extremely important. Because after you are fasting, a lot of your receptors or the receptors in your stomach becomes more sensitive. So whatever you put in, it's going to grab it better. It's going to absorb it better. So if you put in junk, it's going to absorb junk really good. If you put in highly nutritious food, it's going to absorb it really good. So which one do you want your system to absorb? And most of us obviously want a nutritious one, which means that you'll put in more high quality foods. Make sense? Perfect. Awesome. So hope that answers your question. Let's move on to the next question here. All right, ladies, keep the questions coming and don't be afraid to join the link. Let me keep putting it. I'm gonna keep putting that link, yeah? I'm gonna keep putting that link on Facebook. Just click the link, you're gonna come on live, just like Hadassah just did and Liz just did, and I'm gonna answer those questions. Okay, so let's keep it moving. So what does protein powder do to the body? Can we use protein powder? If yes, can you advise which one we use? Okay, so I think I just answered that question with Hadassah. Protein powder is just a supplement. It's just a food supplement. If you're not getting enough protein in your diet, then you get it from a powder. Now, this is where it becomes tricky because a lot of companies create products labeled as good and healthy and works fast and fast absorbable. However, they're just filled with fillers. So when you go to use protein powders, you want to go from trusted sources. And again, we have partnered with some trusted sources. I'll actually send you links over to them after this. This company is actually good. Now Sports, a lot of their products, well, all of their products are organic, which means there's nothing added to it, non-GMO as well, and they do not have any artificial sweeteners or anything like that, which is something from a lot of products, right? So this is a great protein product that you can actually use, and it will help you to get amazing results. It will actually help with that supplementing of your protein sources. All right, perfect. All right, so let me keep it moving here. Okay, see Angelina, let's try again. Okay, Angelina, you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Okay.
Oh,
Question one.
go for it.
Do you need to make constant changes in your exercise routine for it to be effective?
Do you need? Yes. Okay. Your body is designed for survival, right? And one of the ways your body survives is whenever it's put under stress, it learns quickly how to adapt to it. So it doesn't require as much effort to complete it. Follow me so far?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are doing the same exercises for the last 3 months, more than likely your body will become adjusted to that. And that just becomes like an activity. However, keeping that in mind, what we do, we recommend that you change the intensity of exercise. That intensity doesn't always have to go up. It could come down sometimes. For example, after I believe it's a 12-week period, we recommend something called deloading. So you just work out just for the movement, not necessarily push yourself, because otherwise you'll just be building up stress, which would add another element of weight gain to you. So there are a few basic ways you can increase the intensity of your exercise. Number one, if you're resistant training, you can increase the weight that you use. Number two, you can increase the amount of repetition. So if you did 8 last week, this week you can do 10. Next week you do 12. And the third way is that you reduce the rest between your sets. So if you, after doing a sit-up, you rested for 1 minute, then next week you could probably rest for 50 seconds, the week after 40 seconds, and keep bringing it down. So with these variables now, and this is especially applicable during the COVID period where you can't go, you not don't have access to a gym. Maybe you just have one resistance band, like I have one here, right? You just got one resistance band. After a while, your body's gonna get accustomed to that. How am I gonna make that resistance band harder? Two things. You can reduce the rest between that resistance band or increase the amount of reps you're doing with it. The same band, but you're just changing the movements between them. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Also,
Good
would
question.
the exercise, would certain exercise, would it be good for everyone, or certain individual need a different routine in order to get better results?
From training different ladies, and ladies tend to be a little bit more resistant when it comes to exercise. I would have to say that each individual requires a different level of exercise. Now, let me clarify that. At the beginning, everybody has a base program, just something that they could start with. But as you progress, and this progression becomes pronounced around that 8 to 12 week mark, right? Everybody's on level playing ground after that. You're going to realize that there are certain exercises that affect your body different. So, like for me, I may do squats, and squats may help me to get really defined legs. For you, it would do nothing. Yours may be leg press. And which is why I encourage that you pay attention to the workouts that are affecting the change in your body. Now, when you know these workouts, you can relay them to your coach and he can incorporate them more, or you can, for your own self, incorporate them into your routine. Weight training affects certain individuals different than others. So it's important to know your body, and this doesn't just apply to exercise, it also applies to food. Some ladies can eat all the carbs and get off with it. Others eat a little bit and they start feeling bloating, they start putting on size. So know your body, and again, don't go and start changing things in the first 6 weeks. Your body is still acclimatizing. Like after that mark, that 6, that 8, that 12-week mark, then you're gonna start to realize what happens, what affects you. You're gonna do more of those that affect you positively and reduce those that affect you negatively.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome, Angelina. You see how Angelina came on like that? You guys come on now. Stop typing me these questions, man. I like to talk to people. And you see, when you ask me questions, it actually helps me to go deep and bring out stuff. So it also helps me with new topics that I can do in the future. So come on, man. What's going on with y'all? Y'all so shy. Okay. Jason, you mentioned a couple weeks ago about the keto. Can you elaborate, please? Thank you. Okay, Jacqueline, no problem. So, keto. This is a big diet. This is a big word that is being floating around. And what keto means is that getting your body into a state of ketosis. Now, let me explain that. Your body needs energy your body needs food for energy, right? It needs to be creating energy. Just like a car needs gasoline to create energy, or diesel, or whatever the engine is. The primary source of energy in the body is glucose. So when you eat carbohydrates, it's broken down ultimately into glucose, which enters your bloodstream, right? Your body uses that as energy. When the body no longer has glucose, it goes to fat, switches over to fat, and uses that as primary source of energy. At that stage, when the glucose is depleted, then there are also something called ketones. So ketones is another source or another body source of energy, another source that the body turns to for energy. But it only turns to ketones after the glucose has been depleted. So what a ketogenic diet seeks to do is to keep your body burning fat and as its primary source of energy. Fat and also ketones as its primary source of energy, right? And the only how it could do that is by ensuring that all of the glucose is depleted. And that is being done by ensuring that their diet, most ketone diets are high fat, low carb. What that does, most of the limited carbs that comes in is utilized almost immediately, right? And then the body has no choice now but to switch over to fat. The longer this happens, the body becomes what is called fat adaptive, and the body is now in ketosis. So it means that it's burning fat, ketones for energy. So that's what the keto diet seeks to do. And the benefit of that at a primary level, hormonal balance, also it helps with insulin sensitivity, so making your body become more sensitive to insulin, which is a good thing. The detrimental part is becoming, what's the next word now? When your body does not utilize insulin properly, right? Insulin resistant. And of course, insulin resistant is the first step to type 2 diabetes. So somebody who has type 2 diabetes means that their body is not utilizing insulin properly, which is why the insulin levels are always elevated, and which is why the blood sugar levels are always elevated, which is why they need supplemental insulin to help to clear the bloodstream of that glucose level. Now, when you are using ketones and fat for energy, then glucose and blood sugar level never becomes a problem. And there are a host of other problems that comes from having a high glucose level. So that's what the ketogenic diet is in a nutshell, and that's what it seeks to do. All right, hope that answers your question. All right, cool. Oh man, Donna, how you doing, Donna? Good to have you. Don't be afraid to jump on the link. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so Donna, what foods are best to use to assist repairing the stomach from inconsistent or bad eating habits? The foods that you were created to eat, those will be the foods from the ground, foods as close to the natural state as possible. So if you're talking about stomach repair from inconsistent or bad eating habits, I'm sure that one of the things that's going to come up is acid reflux, right? For those type, you want to eat more of a plant-based type diet. That is stage one. The next part, you also want to make sure that you are eating those foods at the right time, because you can be eating the great foods, but if you are suffering with acid reflux, for example, and you're eating these foods before bed, then that's just going to aggravate the problems. You always want to make sure you're eating the right type of food, which, as I said, is more of a plant-based diet, and you also want to be ensure that you are eating these foods at the right timing, which is not before you go to bed. You also want to give your stomach time to rest so it can repair. And next thing I'll just throw in here, you want to eat foods that are high in prebiotics and foods that are high in probiotics. Now, when you talk about probiotics, we're talking about like the bacterial environment in your stomach. The prebiotics are the foods that the probiotics eat and help to create that balance in your stomach and your intestinal tract, right? From a basic level. So those foods will include things like garlic, which is a prebiotic. You want to use more fermented foods, so like sauerkraut, that's one. Kombucha, that's also another one. And if it's difficult to get these, then you could go to the pharmacy and buy a high quality probiotic as well. So that will help to maintain that healthy gut environment so that your body breaks down food a lot better. All right, hope that helps. All right, let's keep it moving. Okay, so where are we now? All right. Okay, perfect. So, hope this answers your question. It looks like we don't have any more questions. Is that it, ladies? I don't see any more questions coming through. So if that is the case, then I'm going to, let me just give you all one more minute in case you have any more questions. And if you have any more questions, let me just drop the link here again. Here we go. And in YouTube, in case you need to ask me any questions, just click that link. It will bring you over here and I'll answer your questions live. Now, if you don't have any questions, I'll give you all like one or two more Mississippis. By the way, all those who asked the questions, thank you very much. Those were great questions. And it was fun. It was fun actually doing a live Q&A, making it seem so interactive, as opposed to every time just coming on here and hearing my voice, which I know you don't mind, but hey, it's always good to ask questions because that way sometimes others may have the same questions, and by you asking them, it just clears it up for them. Yeah? Make sense? All right, cool. So it doesn't seem like we have any more questions, which is cool. And with that said, let's just, oh, we didn't even do a movement break tonight. So let's do a movement break. How about we do a movement break? How could we miss a movement break? So let's go ahead and do a movement break. We're just going to do a nice tricep stretch. So the tricep is this muscle in the back here. To stretch it out, we're going to put our hand above our heads, pull it back, hold it for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's change arms. Bring this arm above your head, pull it back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, perfect. Nice. Wait, I think let me see. Yeah? I'm just giving a person the last chance to come in and see, ask more questions, right? Just in case, before I go, right? Okay, so let me see if there's any more questions. We have one more. Funny I'm not ask this question. Okay, Neil, great question. What would you recommend for ladies with cellulite? That's a good question. Let me not step too much out on my limb of expertise here, but generally speaking, again, I recommend exercise because, as you know, cellulite is the skin, and When the skin becomes loose, it starts to form like that wave pattern to the back of the legs. Now, loose skin is normally a side effect of weight gain. So by exercising, you're going to bring down your overall weight. By adding in resistance training, specifically if you're dealing with the leg muscles, we're talking about things like squat. You're going to build your lean muscle mass, reduce that body fat percentage, and that should help with some of that cellulite buildup. There are also things that you can use like collagen. I'm not expert in that area, so I'm not going to mention that. The next thing you can use is water, because again, your skin is made of about 70% water, and once it's filled with water, it's going to become more fluid. It's going to also become less saggy. Water is a really great anti-aging treatment, so it actually help with that as well, right? And I see somebody saying in the comments, CMOS. Yes, CMOS does have that collagen in it, yeah? I believe so. Okay, right? So my recommendation would be exercise, and specifically if you're dealing with legs, you want to do resistance training, which will include squats, and of course, exercise must be followed by a proper nutritional protocol to get the most out of it, right? So that would be my answer. Great question, Neil. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the FitMAW Show. Of course, I must do a brief announcement here, reminding all of our mom makeovers and also our FitMAWs Elite to join us tomorrow for our Zoom workouts, 5 a.m. or 6 p.m. Now, if you join us on this show and you are interested in joining these Zoom workouts, so we have these live Zoom workouts that we do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and these are actually taught by myself, and some of my accountability leaders will be coming and teaching these as well. So these are really interactive. It's the energy is a lot higher because you're actually working out with other women around the Caribbean like yourselves, and also you'll be having me lead the workout. We do a lot of the kickboxing, we do low impact, so it's not something that is only limited to persons with exercise history. If you're an absolute beginner, you can actually do these workouts and work your way up to that level. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and WhatsApp me at that number 1-385-743-1906, and I'll tell you exactly how you can join. Added to that, we also have a online virtual studio. So apart from the live workouts with me, you can do things based on the equipment you have. So we have like spin classes for those of you with bikes. We've got TRX, we've got resistance training for the resistance bands. We've got dumbbells, we've even got dance classes, yoga, Pilates, a bunch, like over 500 workouts to choose from. So go ahead and message me and I'll show you how you can actually jump on our live virtual studio where you have both on-demand workouts and also live workouts with me. For everyone else, thank you so much for joining us. Have yourselves an awesome day. Thank you all for the Father's Day greetings. This Q&A was fun. I enjoyed it. It was actually fun getting my brain poked at for a bit. So thank you all and have yourselves a great week. And until our next show, I am your host, Jason Craig, from the FitMAW Show, helping mothers and wives create a body that they are proud of. Take care and have yourselves